All right, let's get started, everybody. Happy Friday the 13th. I'm Fox 19 Now First Alert Meteorologist Brad Maushart with a hopefully not terrible forecast. It's been a little bit messy out there already. We've seen a lot of spots, almost up to an inch of rainfall. When we take a look at the totals here, 86/100ths of an inch of rainfall up in the Hamilton area. Anywhere you see that purple splotch is an estimated inch plus. So a lot of those missed the airport sites. Officially at the airport, the international airport, less than a quarter inch. Just over a quarter inch at Lunken, and some spots barely saw anything at all. Lebanon somehow just squeaked out 2/100ths of an inch of rainfall there at the reporting site. We have a lot more to go. This is only wave number one that has pushed its way on through. We have more showers and storms that will be pushing their way in. Later on tonight, Saturday, a few showers and storms on Sunday. Yeah, it's going to be a mess out there. We have 7 consecutive days with rain chances. No completely dry days the next 7 days. Now, with that said, I do want to point out it is sunny right now downtown. I mean, there's a mix of clouds and sunshine. You can see the gloom already encroaching again there on the horizon. But, not all of these days are going to be washouts. In fact, I don't think any of them will be a complete washout. But some days will feature better rain chances than others. Tomorrow afternoon looks like one of those days. So that's what we'll keep an eye on for Saturday. But don't cancel any Father's Day plans outside. The Bananas game right now is happening, and you can see they're having a great time over there. Well, you can kind of see it. It looks like we're in the shadows right now, but, they're getting the game in. We're going to have a lot of dry time through the weekend, so don't cancel the plans. Just be cautious, because we will have a good chance for some thunderstorms, especially through the day Saturday. Temperatures right now, this is only really tells you a little bit of the story. We're sitting at 77 in Lunken, 75 in Batesville. You're going, that feels great. Feels like a nice cool down. Not the case. Look at the dew points. Oh, man, it's miserable out there. 75 in Batesville. It's almost completely saturated. You're going to walk outside. This is what we call the air you can wear. You will feel it instantly. It'll stick to your clothes. They're going to get all sticky. Just one of those days. It's tropical levels of humidity once you hit that 75-degree mark. You're going to feel that dew point-wise. That'll also be thunderstorm fuel, and we got to keep our eyes on the back off to the west, because that is where round number 2 is just starting to sneak onto the screen there off to the west. Wave number 1 pushed out. We did not see any severe storms with that, thankfully. There are some severe storms pushing now near into Huntington, West Virginia area, right along 64. Those skirted just to the south of Lewis County and then re-intensified. Round number 1 out. We're drying out for the next few hours up until about 9 o'clock. That's our window. I think right after 9 we'll start to see this second round push in. Now, if we're lucky, let me move over here and start fiddling around with this. If we're lucky, the strongest storms, and there is one severe storm there with this line, quite a bit of lightning. There's some flash flooding happening down near Evansville. I'm hopeful that since this whole thing is kind of pinwheeling in a circle here, you can kind of see where that low is back here to the west, right? I'm hoping that with that, it drags some of these storms a little bit further north and out of the area, but I'm not super confident that's going to happen. I think some of our westernmost communities are going to be dealing with that cluster of storms that is currently just northwest of the Louisville area. That's what we're going to be dealing with. The rest of us, it's going to be the stuff down here. Let me find something else I can draw with, maybe a little bit better. This stuff right here looks like that is going to be, heading more towards the tri-state. It's almost impossible to draw on this thing. But that's what's going to be heading in. This stuff right here in central and southern Indiana, that is more so going to hit and clip through just our northwesternmost communities rather than downtown. That's my hope at this time. We'll keep a close eye on that the next couple of hours and see how that evolves. But either way, this is round then number 2. We'll catch a lull through the overnight. And then round number 3 arrives for Saturday. Again, just a messy stretch ahead. Get the rain gear out. You'll need it as we work our way through the next couple of days. I'm going to try to do a little better with keeping an eye on the comments here tonight. If anything comes in real time, I'll try to answer that instead of seeing it 20 minutes after the fact. Being a Friday, I know a lot of people have some plans to get out there and enjoy. They don't want to sit here and watch me, so it probably won't be a super long one today. But I might have to hop on later, before that show at 10 o'clock tonight. In case any of these storms are wreaking havoc in our westernmost communities, we'll keep an eye on that too. So I might have a special 9 o'clock or 9:30. Quick broadcast here from the streaming center if it warrants that, because this is what happens at 9 o'clock. That cluster of storms will be pushing in. Again, mostly northwest of downtown. Still, most of us going to be nice and dry here around downtown through about 9. So you have about 2 hours before we're going to have to contend with our next round of rain and storms. Not everybody's going to get wet from this, but I do think that downtown sees some showers, maybe a rumble of thunder before midnight. And then we dry back out a good amount as we work way through the early overnight hours. That is the good news. Here's the bad news. We do not stay dry for long. Saturday, there will be a good amount of rainfall pushing on in. The morning looks more dry than not. So if you have morning plans for, Father's Day, early Father's Day plans on Saturday, maybe you're getting brunch outside, you could get unlucky, but more of you than not will be dry outside to start the weekend. You will not stay dry long. Like I said, we have a good amount of storms. Most of that activity starts to ramp up through the afternoon and early evening hours. Dinner plans, I would be extra cautious for your Saturday. As you can see, it's not a washout, but there will be a good amount of rainfall out and about and some lightning strikes you'll have to contend with through the afternoon and evening hours on Saturday. Saturday night, late, we start to dry back out. Sunday gets off to a mostly dry start, and here's noon, and this is as far as the model goes, and we're going to stop it here because at noon on Sunday is the first match of several at TQL Stadium for the Club World Cup, the FIFA Club World Cup. The first match is Bayern Munich, huge club, and Auckland City FC out of New Zealand. So these are the best teams in their leagues, right? Bundesliga, the German league, top flight. That's the champions this year, Bayern Munich. They're playing in this. You also have several other just great clubs, because I know there's more from the Bundesliga that are playing in this. But Bayern Munich has the first match. There's a lot of stuff happening downtown since we have a lot of German heritage in this city. They're doing a lot of events around town. So if you're interested in that, just Google it. You'll find a whole lot of stuff happening, especially in the downtown area in particular. On top of that, speaking of Germans, Schützenfest, which I always feel like I'm getting away with a crime when I say it. Schützenfest is happening this weekend. Their event starts, I don't know if it's tonight. It might start, I think it's a 3-day thing. I think it starts tonight. It runs through Saturday and Sunday. If you can get there in the next hour or so, you'll have some dry time. Saturday will be a little dicey. Again, don't cancel the plans to go, because we'll see dry time like we're seeing now. But something to keep an eye on for Saturday, and Sunday looks a little drier of the three. So, not a bad event for that. We got about 5 million other things happening. Italian Fest, another part of Europe having their moment down in Newport. We got Celtic Fest, another part of Europe having their events up north. We have the Flying Circus happening up at the Butler County Airport. That runs Saturday and Sunday from noon to 2:30 or 3:30, somewhere in there. Father's Day, obviously. The Dearborn County Fair starts this weekend out in Lawrenceburg area. Just a lot happening this time of the year. So, if you have those plans, again, no need to cancel. Just be cautious, because we will see dry time mixed in. You'll have to dodge some storms, and some of you will be not doing a good job at dodging the storms, because it's going to be feast or famine when it comes to these rainfall totals. It really just depends on where those intense downpours go. As you can see, Falmouth, nothing. Again, take these numbers with a grain of salt. These are not going to be the exact numbers. This is just a model, but it gives you an idea of kind of the range you're going to be dealing with. And the most intense downpours, some areas could pick up 2 to 3 inches of rainfall by the time we wrap things up Sunday, right? And other areas might not get any more rain the rest of the weekend, and that's just how it happens. I think most areas are going to be somewhere around 1/4 to 1/2 inch of rain, with some areas seeing up to 1 inch, but you can't rule out those heavier totals. That's why localized flooding is going to be a threat this weekend, just because we could have some of those storms training over the same area over and over, and that's where those higher totals are going to come from. So your Father's Day weekend, not a washout. That's the biggest thing. Don't cancel your plans, because we will see some dry time mixed in. Lesser rain chances overall on Sunday, and lesser storm chances on Sunday. Lesser chances for lightning. Most of that by Sunday on the backside of the system will have moved off to the southeast. So there's, again, 5 a.m. Sunday. There is 2 o'clock, so that's when that Club World Cup match is still happening downtown. Again, some showers are there, but there's a roof. And outside of the first 5 rows of seats, depending on where the wind's blowing, most of you are going to be dry anyway once you're in the stadium. So don't worry too much about that. The lightning threat, like I said, is going to be farther off to the southeast. Maysville, I think, and southeast of that. I don't think we have any lightning strikes really within the metro county. So that should be good on Sunday. Monday, we'll obviously keep a close eye on it because that could change. But for right now, it looks pretty good. Monday, we do start to dry out. There's going to be a slim chance for a few showers in the afternoon, in evening hours, but most of us are dry out there for Monday. Tuesday, rain and storms return, scattered in nature. Wednesday, much of the same. We got to keep our eye on late Wednesday into Thursday because this rain chance is up a little bit from the model I looked at earlier. And there's also going to be an abundance of moisture and heat to work with. So the severe weather ingredients are in place there on Wednesday. We'll keep our eyes on that. Same with Thursday. A good chance for rain and storms outside. Now, I'm pitching ahead to Thursday. Speaking of a ton of things happening, I mentioned the Dearborn County Fair begins Saturday and runs through this upcoming week. I have been invited as a special guest to partake in a goat and sheep showmanship celebrity whatever whatever you want to call it. I'm sure it has a name. I'm forgetting because I haven't eaten. But every one of these streams, I'm telling you, I'm just going to be hungry in it. So that's just how it goes with this shift. A goat and sheep celebrity showmanship event down at the Dearborn County Fair. It's a dream job for me, dream invite. But I'm going up against Father Meyer. If you're from Southeast Indiana, you know Father Meyer. So I'm up against divine, intervention, and it's just, anyway. So I'm up against the priest. We're up against several principals or superintendents of Southeast Indiana schools, and somebody from Eagle 99.3 out there on the radio. So, I don't want to brag, but I used to have goats and sheep, so I'm kind of a dark horse candidate. They think I'm, the city guy. I wear suits here, but, So that's something happening on Thursday, and if the weather cooperates, you can watch me live coming up on the 19th, the final day of spring, out there wrestling goats and sheep live on television. It should be a blast. I will be having a good time. Working our way past that, Thursday into Friday. If you're looking for our next dry day, you have to wait until this time next week. That's just how long this soggy stretch is going to last. We have 7 consecutive days of rain chances. It does not mean you're going to see rain every single day. But, it could tack up. Those totals could be pretty hefty by the time we wrap up this week. And then, Friday, our next dry day right there, is the first day of summer. And boy, oh boy, will it not, it is going to feel summer-like by this time next week. We're going to have some rain-cooled temperatures, upper 70s to low 80s. The humidity's not going anywhere, by the way. If you've been out here the last couple hours, it's, like I mentioned, it's soupy. You talk mid-70s, you're going to feel it. It's only going to get worse into next week. We're going to see those humidity values 75 plus a lot of the afternoons. Dew point values are just going to be off the charts. You are going to feel it as the air you can wear, and it's going to really stink for the first day of summer. We are drying out that Friday, 83 degrees, but when you start to factor in, a 70, 75 dew point, it's going to feel more like almost 90 degrees. It's going to be really hot to close out next week. And right now, the early look ahead to next Saturday, the models are kind of split. I mean, it's a long ways out. That's why. They're not getting along. Next Saturday, another Club World Cup match down at TQL Stadium. The one model has us dry. The other one does not. The one that has us dry also has us up to 85 degrees. And that kind of follows along the trend here from the Climate Prediction Center, which has well above normal temperatures in place as we roll into summer. So if you've been enjoying our little bit of spring we've had, some of these cooler temperatures at times, I think a lot of that's gone now. So hopefully you enjoyed it while it lasted because it was a nice spring. Summer is rolling in like a lion out there, well above normal, not just above normal. We're talking well above normal. Normal this time of the year now is up to 82 degrees, right? Well above normal, we're talking probably upper 80s. I mean, you'd have to assume. So that's what the Climate Prediction Center has us, under 21st to the 27th. So first, full day of summer. Summer starts the 20th. So 21st through the 27th. First kind of full week of summer there. Looking more summer-like. So it is going to be hot. So enjoy the cool downs and the breaks in the rain when you can get them. 80 degrees outside Saturday, 78 for your Father's Day. Like I said, just 5 million things happening outside this time of the year. There's always an outdoor event, a wedding, something happening, right? Just be cautious. Don't cancel the plans. I did not mean to skip over that. Let me go back. Just wanted to play the animation again. We're going to wait into next week. Our next driest day is Monday, but not a dry day, just drier. With there's a slim chance from the PM hours, these afternoon and evening hours. Tuesday, rain and storms return as the Reds return to town. Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they're playing the Twins. I mean, I just feel like the Reds are just getting hammered with rain and storm chances this season. Maybe that's just because I'm back and I'm just noticing it more because we do their forecast, but I don't know. It just seems like a mess. Club World Cup match on Wednesday. Pachuca. I think I butchered the name yesterday. I'm probably butchering it again right now because I'm not looking at it. But I think it's Pachuca and RB Salzburg. Red Bull Salzburg out of Austria. They're in town on Wednesday. Thursday, again, Wednesday, Thursday both, we'll have to monitor for a strong storm threat out there those nights. Thursday, goat show. If I can, sneak out of here. The goat and sheep show down at the Dearborn County Fair. If I can get Steve and Aaron to cover me there on Thursday, I'll be able to get out there and do that. Some live weather from Dearborn County. Come out and say hello. Friday, first day of summer. And like I said, it's going to be very summer-like out there. 83. I have us early look ahead to next Saturday, next weekend. If you're trying to plan out real early, take it with a grain of salt because it changes. It just does. It's too far out. But right now I have us dry. And I have us at 85 degrees for next Saturday, and that is a trend that is going to continue, it looks like, through that whole next weekend and the week after. So be prepared for the heat. Make some preparations now. Maybe service the air conditioners if you haven't done that in a while. I told you, somebody just mentioned that it's a good thing they cut both the lawns. I told you to do it. I told you to get out there and get the yard work done. Nobody listens to me. I unfortunately waited until yesterday morning. And the humidity was it feels like it was just almost as high yesterday. I was just drenched in sweat. So, you're not going to get many opportunities here with these rain chances to get out there and get some of this yard work in. Shameless self-plug here. You can follow me on all of these social media sites, and I believe, let me go back and double check. I believe after talking about it, yes, 19,001 followers on Facebook. So thank you so much. You guys have helped me grow that back. For a minute there, I was down to about 15,000 when I left TV land a few years ago. And now in the last 3 months, maybe, it's all the posting of dumb memes I'm putting online. We're back to 19,000. That is as many as I have ever had. So I appreciate you guys for that. Thank you very much. I'm going to open it up. Let's see the questions, see if we have anything else. So, yes, if you got your grass cutting in, good. Don't worry, it'll be a jungle by the time you get the next chance to cut it again. Looking forward to that. You have to raise the mower the next time I take it out again. Let's see if we got any comments here. Questions, complaints, suggestions. Debbie liked watching me on that other channel. Appreciate that. I'm here now, so you can watch me here. I'll be here for a while, hopefully. It's a Friday, the 13th, so weirder stuff is happening. Let's see. Nobody else talking. It's good. Hopefully, I'm going to probably call it quits then here at 7:30. We'll call it a quick show tonight. Thank you again for tuning in. Steve is still out Monday and Tuesday of next week, so please don't panic when you're stuck with me again. He is enjoying some vacation time. He has a lot of it. He's enjoying that. So, he's going to be back on Wednesday of next week. I'll still be here Monday and Tuesday. It's still, still going to be soggy out there as we work away into next week, so stay tuned. A lot of rain chances to get through. Nothing particularly bad. Just keeping an eye. We'll go back to the radar here real quick just to remind you if you're just tuning in. We still have some storms we're going to have to contend with tonight. We are not in the clear just yet. Let me hop back to the actual sweeping radar, and we'll show you what we're dealing with here, and then we'll call it quits. All right, I don't have any comments there, so I'll just talk here for another few minutes, and then we'll call it quits for the night. Give it a second. Here's the radar. So right now, most of the tri-state dry. Again, this is how it's going to be. We're going to have waves of rain. We'll have breaks in between. No washouts the next several days. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. Couple spotty showers out here in the west, just enough to be a nuisance, but nothing crazy with that. But we have to go back a little bit further, and you can see that a little bit more down the road here, we're packing a little bit of a punch. We have a little bit of a Boeing segment here of storms between, just to the west of Paoli. So that's something to keep an eye on. Not a ton of lightning with that. It's not severe warned, but at times that line of storms, that cluster of storms has been. So let me put this on here for the last hour. We'll go in a loop. Well, that's way too fast, but we'll just ride with it. You can see the general motion of this. Let's see if I can put a line on here for you. kind of just give you an idea of where that's kind of headed. So again, this cluster of storms, the worst of it, is going to scrape through kind of the Greensburg area at the worst and maybe up towards Fayette County if that continues on that trajectory. If it slides a little bit further to the east, maybe Ripley County near the Batesville area. But just something to keep an eye on. It has more of a northward trend than eastward. And arrival times, again, same as what I told you earlier, about an hour and a half, 2 hours from now. Maybe a little sooner out in the Greensburg area. So let's just say about an hour, hour and a half in that area. Downtown, next chance of rain probably about 2 hours away. So that's what we're keeping an eye on. Here's kind of the overview of what we're dealing with. One severe storm to the southeast. Those other storms off to the west, which have, been severe at times, and they have, dumped a lot of rain. There's flash flooding happening right now down in Evansville. Dare I click on this and see if this works? Let's see what we got here. Maybe. There we go. Flash flood warning. Yep. Oh, wow. They have some really bad flooding going on right now down in Evansville. Interesting. So this is something you don't see too often. I guess we'll talk a little bit longer because I wasn't expecting that to pop up. So not only is it a flash flood warning, but they're calling this and deeming this to be catastrophic flash flooding. Let me see if I can find anything on the internet about what might be happening down in Evansville, at least in that area. Let's see. Major flooding going on in neighborhoods off of Strawberry Hill Road. Water almost higher than the mailboxes in that area. That is some bad flooding. So that was somebody's Evansville picture. Looks like more significant flooding down in the Evansville area. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty bad. I'm looking at these pictures right now. Maybe we'll have a story about this later. We'll dig some pictures up that we can use. I can't show you these because, unfortunately, I don't want to get sued. So anyway, so we'll dig some stuff up, news side of things, and we'll have some information on that Evansville flooding. I know it's kind of far away, but there might be some connections here to the tri-state, so something to keep an eye on there, some bad flooding, and that's what it takes. Again, rainfall estimates here in the tri-state, some areas not going to see a whole lot of rainfall the rest of the weekend. Some areas could see 3 inches, and it might come all at once, so just be safe out there this weekend. We don't really have any big severe threats this weekend except for the lightning. That's mostly a Saturday threat, but that heavy rain could get us. So something to keep an eye on with the localized flooding threat. We'll have more on that Evansville flooding later on tonight. We're back at 10 o'clock on the dot. No sports to ruin that tonight. So I'll actually get to leave on time, which is always great on a Friday night, filling in for Steve. Tune in then. We'll have more on that at 10. We'll have it at 11. If you're bored, tune in. We'll be there. We'll get you through this rain. We have a lot of it the next couple of days. We appreciate you watching. Let me get the 7-day up. I'll leave that up for a few seconds after I stop talking. That way you can get a good look at it to see how you're going to plan your week. And let me just tell you how to plan your week. Just take the umbrella. You'll need it. It's going to be a little messy out there as we work our way through the next 7 days. Temperature's pretty steady until we hit the first day of summer there. That's when we see our next completely dry day. 83 degrees, warming back up, mid-80s next weekend. High heat, high humidity, feeling like summer just in time for the start of summer. Have a good Friday night, everyone.